Welcome to Fireside Giants. My name is Alex with my co-host here, Anthony Rivardo. A quick little update for you guys today. Injury report before the game. Of course, tonight we got Eli Manning and Peyton calling this one on ESPN2. Super excited to see those guys call a Giants game and see if Eli Manning is a little unbiased or if he's biased. Let's see what happens. I'm sure he's going to give his old team some love. But I'm excited about this game tonight, guys. There's a lot to like against a Chiefs team that's shown to be vulnerable on different sides of the ball. Their defense is definitely a big problem for them. Secondary's not looking good. They're not really good against the run. They're bottom 6 in the league in points allowed per game. This is a defense the Giants can take advantage of. Carolina, he has a much better unit, and even they're not that good. So I think the Chiefs, they're I guess they're kind of healthy. We'll talk about a couple players that may be out that are questionable for this contest, but for the most part, they don't have a good unit at all. And I just hope the Giants can limit them enough on offense that they're not forced to really go through the air, and they can still establish the run. They can use that running game to their advantage and really start to incorporate play action and whatnot. I really don't want to see this be a shootout because the Giants will lose the shootout, and that's kind of like they're the reality of this team at the moment, Anthony. Before we dive into this short little segment talking about their injury report, who's in, who's out, how you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited for this game. Excited to watch Eli Manning commentate for his old team. Not really even commentating because he said he's going to be biased. He's going to be rooting for the Giants. He is a Giants fan. That's going to be awesome because it's going to be kind of like watching a Giants game with Eli Manning, and it'll be fun because he'll be rooting for the team like we are. And I think that's going to be a really exciting thing for the NFL and ESPN to have on display tonight. And then, of course, talking about this game specifically, I'm excited to hit the pregame live stream tonight, the postgame reaction or live stream, depending on if we win or lose. Either one, I'm excited for. And I'm definitely excited for this game. Like Alex mentioned, horrible Chiefs defense. And we got some good players coming back from injury today to hopefully expose that defense, and it should be a good matchup. I know that the Giants are the underdogs. They should be. They should be the underdogs, but I think this game is a little bit more winnable than most people do. I think the Giants do have a chance of pulling out an upset tonight.
Look, this is one of those games that defines a season, right? The Giants are already 2-5. They're well and far beyond and behind what they expected to be at this point in the season. But a game against the Chiefs, beating the Chiefs shows that you're legit. You aren't a bad team. You might be better than people are giving you credit for. Maybe you just had a couple of bad losses in the beginning of the season. I mean, the Saints just beat the Bucs for goodness sake with Trevor Siemian at quarterback for the second half. Like that's insane. Like just keep in mind anything can happen at any moment. Any team can beat any team. And I think the Giants have a decent shot. Patrick Mahomes has had his fair share of issues this year. He's turned the ball over 11 times, including twice last week. He's thrown 9 interceptions this year, had a couple fumbles. And I think that's really gives the Giants a chance. It gives them an opportunity. If their defense can come up with some turnovers here, their players are, a lot of drop passes on the Chiefs side of the ball. They have to play 2 deep safeties. Don't let them get behind them. Don't let Patrick Mahomes create opportunities at the second level and whatnot. I think that's where he really shines, is out of the pocket, running, throwing across his body, doing those ridiculous things we know he can do. And if you can limit that, if you can put pressure on him, that's where you're going to see the Giants take a step forward. But to dive into some of these, questionable out-level players, we'll talk about the Chiefs quickly. Kalen Saunders is out with a knee issue. He's a defensive tackle. Anthony Hitchens, linebacker, has a tricep issue. He is out. Mike Remmers is questionable. Old Mike Remmers, I'm sure you remember him. And Charvarius Ward, cornerback, has a foot injury. He is also questionable. So for the most part, they're pretty much healthy. Like they have a couple guys out. Most of them are depth, but mostly they're pretty healthy on both sides of the ball. So that's something the Giants are not so lucky with. If you look at their chart, they have Saquon Barkley out, Kenny Golladay out, Lorenzo Carter out, Carter Coughlin out, Nate Ebner out. That's 4 starters. 2 of them on offense, 1 on defense, and then 1 on special teams. Carter Coughlin obviously being, he's actually a pretty decent special teams player as well, but just really a backup linebacker. He has an ankle issue as well. Pretty much all of them are ankle issues, except for Kenny Golladay with the knee. I find it kind of weird, though, that it's all ankle. I wonder if that has anything to do with the turf at MetLife or whatever it might be. Maybe the turf that they're playing on a practice field. Who knows, Anthony? But when you're looking at this chart, all the players that are ruled out, the questionables are Caden Smith, Kadarius Toney, and Sterling Shepard. All 3 of them are expected to play. Dan Duggan said before a source told him this is not even like a pre-game warm-up type of situation. They expect Kadarius Toney and Sterling Shepard to play, and they will be active. So if you're a fantasy owner and you need Kadarius Toney today, have him in your lineup. Make sure he's there. Make sure you don't, take him out by accident or whatnot. But Anthony, when you're looking at this, how important is that Toney and Sterling Shepard are both available for the Giants?
Well, it's really important for Daniel Jones and the New York Giants offense because when you look at this team around him, you're saying, ooh, bad offensive line. Andrew Thomas still on IR. He's not back yet. We're going to be starting Matt Peart at left tackle, Nate Solder at right tackle. Then the number one wide receiver, the guy that the Giants spent $18 million per year on this offseason, out. Kenny Galladay, knee injury. And then, of course, Saquon Barkley, the second overall pick in the 2018 NFL draft, the New York Giants starting running back, out. Ankle injury. So that right there tells you the Giants need as much talent on this team as possible to be playing. And Kadarius Toney, we saw him play against the Dallas Cowboys, put up 196 all-purpose yards. That's talent. That's something that the Giants desperately need right now. They need a playmaker on offense for Daniel Jones to share the rock with. And that's pretty much what they're going to be hoping to get with the guys like Sterling Shepard and Kadarius Toney. He just needs at least one or two weapons to make this offense capable of winning this game. And that's what they're getting now. They're getting those 1 to 2 weapons. Of course, Evan Engram will still be out there. Caden Smith is going to be playing as well. However, he's still hobbled. He's been dealing with a knee injury all year. Apparently, they've been trying to get him into a larger role, but they've been unable to because he's been dealing with a nagging injury. So I don't really expect him to make much of an impact tonight. But those guys, Kadarius Toney, Sterling Shepard, they're going to be impactful players. They're the guys that the Giants offense is going to run through. It's going to run through Daniel Jones to Kadarius, to Sterling. Sterling Shepard, he has so much volume. He gets so many targets, and he makes so many plays on third down in the short receiving area. But then Kadarius Toney is kind of like that do-it-all but big play threat, right? They're going to throw him some screen passes. They're probably going to put him in the wildcat quarterback position. They're probably going to give him 1 or 2 passing opportunities where he throws the ball, maybe throws a deep bomb to Danny Beckham Jr., right? We're probably going to see some tricky stuff with Kadarius Toney, and we're probably going to see the offense really run through Kadarius Toney because if they want to make some explosive plays, he is one of the most explosive players in this rookie class from this year. So if they want to make some explosive plays, give the ball to Kadarius Toney, watch him get to work, and hopefully lead the Giants to an upset victory.
Yeah, I mean, there's nobody on the Chiefs defense that can stay with Kadarius Toney or even Sterling Shepard for that matter. I'm looking at their grades and yards allowed and touchdowns allowed. So far this year, they have L'Jarius Sneed, who has a 34.5 coverage grade. He's a starting corner. He's their most active cornerback. He's given up 143 yards and 4 touchdowns this year. So that's one touchdown and 136 yards. Mike Hughes, their second corner, has given up 143 yards and 4 touchdowns. And then Rashad Fenton has given up, 57 yards and no touchdowns. He's been their best option, but he's only played 124 coverage snaps. And of course, they have Shavarius Ward and DeAndre Baker behind them as the reserves. Altogether, their best grade is a 70, and their second best grade is actually DeAndre Baker at 63. For the most part, they're kind of a disaster back there. There are safeties. Let's see. Safeties, they have 72 from Juan Thornhill, and they have a 68 grade for Tyrann Mathieu. He's actually had a decent year, not much attributed to him, but I think just the lack of help from the CBs has really hurt that secondary. Daniel Sorensen has been an absolute disaster for them. He's given up 151 yards and a touchdown this year, has a 29 overall grade. Just super, super, super bad for them. And their linebackers, Nick Bolton, 71 overall grade. Ben Neiman, 46. Anthony Hitchens, who's a regular starter as well, is at 64. So Nick Bolton's their primary guy there. He's only given up 4 receptions for 15 yards. But I would say if you're the Giants, attack those linebackers in coverage. They're not great in coverage. Nick Bolton's primarily a run-stopping guy. I would say, if Kadarius Toney is fully healthy, we're going to see a lot of him. We're going to see him kill the Chiefs. It's going to be really hard for them. They're not a great tackling team by any means. They're really bad in coverage. Talk about yards of separation. Kadarius Toney has 3.8 yards of separation this year, more than any other Giants receiver, probably over the past couple of seasons. I think this is an opportunity for him in prime time. If he's able to stay healthy throughout this game, we're going to see Kadarius Toney have at least 100 yards. We're going to see him at least have a touchdown or 2. Like, if he stays healthy, he's going to be an absolute tank in this game. He's going to win me my fantasy game. He's going to win a lot of people their fantasy games this week. If he stays healthy, knock on wood, we need that. He is the catalyst. The Giants, basically, think of it this way. Tennessee Titans beat the Chiefs last week based on one factor alone, and it was time of possession, right? Basically with that time of possession, if you can maintain it, you have 36 minutes compared to, I think, 24 or something like that for the Chiefs last week. Kadarius Toney is the catalyst there. Kadarius Toney is able to curate more yards, pick up first downs, keep drives alive, and that is where we're going to see him make his biggest impact. And I really hope he's able to stay healthy, because if he is, I don't think anyone on that team is going to be able to stop him. The Saints have a phenomenal defense, and he walked all over them like it was nothing. Dallas 180 plus yards. I mean, they don't have the best defense, but he made Trayvon Diggs look like a figure skater. So I'm pretty excited to see, Anthony, what the team can accomplish if those guys can stay healthy and play well tonight. But just a quick little injury update for you guys. Expected Kadarius Toney, Sterling Shepard, Caden Smith are all questionable, but they're all expected to play in this contest. Of course, Matt Pert at left tackle. That's going to be really interesting to see how they deal with that. I know the Chiefs haven't been great as a pass rusher this year. I feel okay about it. Of course, I would have loved to see Andrew Thomas remain healthy and really be consistent this season. But he'll be back for Week 11 against the Bucs, I believe. So we'll keep that date circled, and hopefully he'll be able to come back and not miss a beat at all. But make sure to tune into our live stream before the game will be on, but about 30 minutes before the game starts. I'm really excited about it. It should be fun, and then hopefully we'll get hyped and walk away with a win here. I'm smashing the under on this game tonight, my friends. Make sure to go hit up our sponsor BUSR in the description of the video. They are matching all of your bets for free, $100 to $500. They're matching your bets, easy enough. Go enjoy that. I'm using it daily. If you guys want to talk any bets, DM me on Twitter. I'm happy to collaborate and talk about some cool stuff with you guys. As always, make sure to subscribe below on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube, and I'll catch you guys on the next Fireside Giants video.